Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I wish to thank the Mekong Institute for inviting me to join in the celebration of its 15th anniversary. It is a great honor, and I'm sincerely grateful to have been invited as an honoree and to give one of the keynote speeches. We are supposed to be celebrating the 15th anniversary of the MI. But as you came through and looked at the excellent exhibition outside, I started to question whether we are celebrating the 15th anniversary or the 16th or the 17th anniversary. I really am not quite sure. Because if you look at the exhibition, the very first panel, it said that there was an initiative from Bunnag University to have such an institute in 1994 or 1995, right? 1994 or 1995. And then Prime Minister Bolger of New Zealand visited Bunnag University and agreed to this initiative. I should inform some of our friends that New Zealand to go to 1995, still in the first panel, there was an exchange of letters between the opening of the MI building in March 1997 and the completion. I just wanted us to be clear on what we are actually celebrating. These historians are very particular about dates, 1994, 95, 96, or 97. So let us be clear that we actually, first class of MI was also held. And of course it's very important because the MI building was contributed by the New Zealand government. An excellent annual report. I don't know whether you have received it all or not. I'd just like to fill in some of the gaps. I'd like to divide the history, the short history of only 15 years of the MI into 3 phases, but I will just mention 2 phases in my speech. And the first phase, as I said, we can say it started in 1994, 1995, and ended in 2003. And this phase was, I would like to call it the bilateral phase, the cooperation between the New Zealand government and the Thai government in the Mekong Institute, which was located on the campus of Bunnag University, of the Bunnag University. If you turn to page 3, it said that the New Zealand government conceived the Mekong Institute as a development assistance project for the countries of the GMS, intended to evolve into a regionally governed autonomous institution. When I came back to Thailand from Washington D.C. in 2001, where Prime Minister Bolger was my colleague in the diplomatic corps, we were already in trouble because the New Zealand government, from about 2001, again I refer to the exhibition outside, was going to phase out its development assistance program for the Mekong Institute. And I remember very well being called to our Prime Minister's office by Dr. Amnoi Weerawan and saying, what are we going to do? In any case, whatever is to be done, you are to do it. And of course, I didn't know a thing about the Mekong Institute, but since this was an order from on high, and I have great respect for Dr. Amnoi Weerawan, who is one of the great gurus of Thailand's development. So I said, yes, sir. He was also accompanied by someone else who was very senior in the Thai scheme of things, Dr. Kasai Chanawong. So it was like being called by the godfathers of development at the time, and I couldn't, as in the film, I couldn't refuse. I couldn't refuse. So we spent between 2001 and 2003 working on a new charter for the Mekong Institute. And at that time, Dr. Tej was already playing a very important role in the work of the Mekong Institute and in the formulation of the new charter, which was signed here in Phnom Penh on the 18th of June. On the 18th of June 2003. I was also present on that occasion. Now, between 2001 and 2003, we were very worried about the fate of the Mekong Institute. Because if New Zealand had left the Mekong Institute in 2003, we would not be celebrating its 15th anniversary today. And the Mekong Institute could well have disappeared, could well have collapsed, and at least it could well have gone bankrupt. But you could ask why, and that was because Thailand was not ready for the new phase of the Mekong Institute's history, which I would like to date to the year 2003 to 2009. The new phase of the Mekong Institute mission was to, again, to quote from the report in your hands, to contribute through human resource development and capacity building to the acceleration of sustainable economic and social development and poverty alleviation in the greater Mekong subregion and promote regional cooperation and integration. And this is taken as a quote from the Mekong Institute Charter, which we signed on the 18th of June 2003. When we signed the new charter here at the Intercontinental Hotel on the 18th of June 2003, we converted the Mekong from being a bilateral cooperation body into a multilateral one. And so, with all the flags represented here of the 6 nations which signed the charter on that day in Phnom Penh. But it was easy to sign the charter, but it was much more difficult to get it to work. And how did we get it to work between 2003 and 2009? I would like to divide this period, this problem, into 2 parts. The first part is how to do it, and the second part is how not to do it. How to do it was difficult but relatively easy, and that is we created a foundation to look after the new Mekong Institute, and we created a new steering committee chaired by Dr.Tej as to restructure the management of the Mekong Institute, to introduce new personnel, came them all between 2003 and 2009. Now, on how not to do it. I think ministers, being politicians, are interested in policy, but they're not so interested on the implementing side of it, which they normally leave to civil servants to clear up the mess afterwards. So they signed the new charter, and then we went back to Khon Kaen, and we were told that it is absolutely illegal because there is no Thai law recognizing this institute. There is no headquarters agreement recognizing this intergovernmental body. And so I spent a great deal of time during the next 6 years in order to rectify this problem. In fact, from 2003 to 2009, I had retired from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 2004 and was still working for the Mekong Institute until 2009, 5 years after my leaving the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now, what did I have to do? I mentioned that we had to found we established a foundation to look after the Mekong Institute during this period of this vacuum, this legal vacuum. And then I had to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to the Juridical Council, and finally to Parliament in order to get an enabling act and a headquarters agreement out of the Thai parliamentary system. Even so, everything proceeded not to plan, and everything was still back to front, so that the government was able to supply us with a headquarters agreement before the Enabling Act. The headquarters agreement came out, I think, on July the 17th, 2007, and eventually the Enabling Act came out in 2009. That's why I said that I would I divide the history of the MI into 3 phases: 1994, 95, 96, 97 to 2003, new charter 2003 to 2009. So we eventually got our Enabling Act together in 2009. What I would like to say in my final points would be that this could not have been achieved without the cooperation of the following. Well, first of all, the patient understanding, support, and cooperation of all the 5 other council members. We had very long meetings when I was always saying to the council members why we still haven't got an enabling act and a headquarters agreement. As I said, from 2003, it took us 6 years before the Thai Parliament passed the Enabling Act. This is the speed at which the Thai Parliament works. I'm sure it's better in New Zealand. Secondly, the hard work of the foundation, and particularly the chairman of the steering committee, Dr.Tej, President, whom I wish to everybody to acknowledge. And he will be addressing us a little bit later. Thirdly, the support of the Khon Kaen University, in particular its rector, Dr. Sumon, former rector, and today represented by Dr. Tej. Fourthly, the support of the Royal Thai Government, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the former Department of Technical and Economic Cooperation, the DTEC, which before 2001 used to be under the Prime Minister's office. But when I became Permanent Secretary for Foreign Affairs, it was transferred from the Prime Minister's office to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it is represented here today by Director General Pirunasi. Fifthly, the hard work of the MI directors, particularly the present director, Dr. Sucha Katima, and his team, and his current team. But above all, last but not least, above all, in fact, the support of the New Zealand government. I think that, without the support of NZA and the New Zealand ambassadors during the past years, from 2001 until 2012, Peter Ryder, particularly Brooke Barrington, Ambassador Bede Corey, we would not be celebrating today because we were able to persuade the New Zealand government through its ambassadors and through New Zealand Aid to phase out its cooperation and assistance as gradually and as gently as possible. And even I think only last year, Ambassador Bede Corey saved some money from the embassy and was able to furnish us with more scholarships. I mean, it's just a wonderful what the New Zealand government has done for us. So 3 years into phase 3, after 2009, we can celebrate here today. So what I would like to say is to quote Jean-Pierre Verdis, who has done a lot of work for us when he was ADB representative to Thailand and to Cambodia, and on the foundation committee and on the steering committee with Dr. Tej. As we came together from Bangkok yesterday, Jean-Pierre Verdis said to me, EMI has come a long way. And I agree with you, absolutely, Jean-Pierre. BMI has come a long way. So well done. Thank you very much.